Thank you so much for coming over from the Pacific to here and put a focus on this important topic. We are going to continue with more youth-related topic. I'm inviting two youth voices to the stage to talk about leveraging education for sustainable future, empowering youth leaders. Our interviewer is Maya Simister. She is a youth delegate with Island Innovation from the Caribbean. And she's going to interview Rachel Ojo, head of UK Youth Delegate to COP28. Please come to the stage.
Thank you, Kata. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Maya Simister. I am a youth delegate with Island Innovation, and I'm from Antigua and Barbuda. Tackling the climate crisis means empowering youth through education, enabling youth advocates to drive sustainability and crucial climate action at all levels of governance. Taking a look at youth success stories and their engagements in policy, we speak with Rachel Ojo. Rachel is the COP28 project co-lead at Climate Talk, as well as head of the UK Youth Delegation. She is focused on making international climate negotiations more accessible for young people around the globe. She has just finished studying philosophy, politics, and economics at the University of Oxford and now works in finance in London. As UK Youth Delegate to COP28, she is passionate about representing young people, meeting with world leaders, and working towards positive and realistic solutions to the climate crisis. I'm sure we can all agree that that's some real black girl magic. These are amazing accomplishments, Rachel. I'm so excited. So, Rachel, welcome.
Thank you so much, Maya. It's such an honor to be here at the Island of Hope, seeing so many amazing voices, the panel we just witnessed right now, seeing people from the Pacific, from island nations being empowered. And yeah, I think it's a blessing to be here from the UK, representing young people, especially on Youth Day here at COP. So it's amazing. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rachel. So, jumping right into the topic at hand, how do you see the role of education in empowering young people to actively engage in climate advocacy and policy discussions?
Thanks. That's a very good question. I think education is something that's very important. You know, from the minute we can walk, we're pushed into schools, we see, lessons in maths, English, but we haven't seen anything really substantial in climate change in the environment. And it just makes you wonder, when climate change is one of the biggest issues affecting our society, affecting young people, why are governments not putting more in place to educate young people and to prepare us for our futures? I think what we really need is we need an education system that encourages young people to be inquisitive, encourages us to look out at the world and not just, the basics of reuse this carrier bag, but seeing how we can, make an influence on a global stage. It's been an honor to be here as a UK delegate, to see yourself and other Caribbean delegates really making a difference. So I think we need an education system that prepares young people for places like COP. It can be quite difficult, but with the right system in place, we can get more young people on the global stage.
That's an excellent response, and knowledge truly is power. So, in your bio, you mentioned being passionate about youth participation in decision making. So, as I'm sure we've all noticed, COP has a growing number of youth delegates. This year has probably been the largest to date. How impactful have young people been in influencing UN policies on climate change?
Thank you, Maya. I think young people have been very impactful. We've seen Youngo, which is the global youth constituency, growing in number every year, and we've seen that delegations are now actually starting to include young people at the forefront on the negotiation tables representing their countries. So I really do think that young people are getting more involved. We're showing that, we can speak your language, we can get involved in the technical details, in the negotiations, and really seeing that it's not just about being antagonistic, it's about everyone working together, whether it's a young person, whether you're from the government, whether you're from business, really seeing that this is not an issue that I can fix by myself, and it's not an issue that the two of us can fix together. It's something we need everyone on board for.
Excellent, excellent. What more can be done to support the youth in the climate negotiation processes? I just want to add here that I overheard an amazing conversation within a youth group where one of the delegates had created an AI tool to help analyze, I guess, these policies. And I just wanted to know if you have any other examples like that, whether it's coming from the UN itself or just NGOs around.
Definitely. I think with young people, the first thing we need to do is get more young people in the room. And, it is expensive to come to these conferences, especially for young people who don't have company sponsorship. So I think that's the first thing we need to do. We need governments to make an active effort to sponsor young people to come to COP and to actually even be in the room in the first place. I think technology also is an amazing thing. You mentioned that I'm also the lead of the project team, the COP project team at Climate Talk. And what we do there is we demystify COP for young people across the globe. We're mainly European based, but we have a team from everywhere, essentially. And we have fun Instagram reels, we have social media content that really helps to show young people that COP is not this distant conference that you can't reach. It's something that can be on your phone, on your doorstep, and can be accessible for all young people. I think I would hate for any young person to feel that COP is only something they can access when they're older, or COP is only for the adults in the room. So it's really nice to have a lot of different organizations making social media content around the conference.
Excellent. Thank you so much. In the age of technology, we really need to harness the potential it has, and we're more connected than ever before, so we have no excuse. We need to use the potential of these technologies to promote climate action and empower ourselves and others. My next question is, do you think there is a gap between youth delegates and world leaders at COP, and how can that be bridged?
Yeah, that's a good question about the gap between youth delegates. I think there definitely is a gap. As a national youth delegate myself, it's often hard to get meetings with the people you need meetings with the ministers, to get them to listen. I think a lot of young people come to COP excited to make change, but what they don't realize is the reality of the situation is that a lot of countries have decided their positions weeks, months in advance of COP, and what you really need is you need a work in progress that can be done throughout the year. I think we were really able to achieve that this year with the UK delegation, working with UK negotiators from the Bonn conference all the way through to COP, and still working with them now. I think every delegation really needs to try and include young people from the start to the end, not just young people coming at COP and them just nodding their heads knowing that their position's already been solidified mostly.
Awesome. I myself noticed that COP really happens outside of these negotiation rooms. Like, that's where all the ideas are exchanged and we're expanding solutions. So to consider that we need to work towards these goals even before COP and after COP is a really good point. Thank you, Rachel. So my next question is, drawing from your experience, what is a strong, or more than one, strong examples of youth-led campaigns that have made a significant impact on climate awareness?
Good question. I think it's so hard to pick one with this. Like, we see Fridays for Future, we see so many different youth-led campaigns, but I think some of the most empowering are often the ones that are, started at home and you see people on a local level. I think one that I have worked with during my time here in Dubai is the Climate Youth Negotiator Program. So the work they do is they train up youth negotiators from over 100 different countries. And this program has been going for 2 years. And we see youth negotiators being empowered to, feel like they deserve their seat in the room, which I think is so essential. And it's really important to make sure that young people know that they can speak out and don't feel like they have to hide in such a big space as well.
Excellent response, Rachel. You blow me away each time. To add to that, I just want to shout out Island Innovation for their Caribbean Climate Justice Leaders Academy. That's the whole reason I'm here. It has literally pivoted my journey. I'm a mechanical engineering student. I've always been aware of this space, but I thought it was beyond me, beyond my reach, something just for the government officials. And now I'm here on a stage having a conversation with an amazing person. So definitely, these initiatives are making a difference. So, okay, I'm looking at time. I would ask, what is one message you would like to convey to young people globally about their role in addressing climate change?
Yeah, I think for young people globally, we all come from different backgrounds. We all have different situations. Some people are more affected by the issues of climate change than others. For some people, it's right on their doorsteps. For some people, it still seems a bit distant and a few years away. But I think it's important for all of us to unite as young people. At the end of the day, we are still going to see the effects in our lifetime. And we really need to make sure that change is made from today. People say we're the leaders of tomorrow, but whilst that is true, we are still the leaders of today, and we really need to make sure we're making an impact and we're not taking no for an answer, because that is not an option. At the end of the day, there is, some people say there is no planet B, which is so true, and we need to make sure that we're taking action today. So I think whether it's, writing to your MPs or your ministers, whether it's speaking out at your school, I think just any action is a move in the right direction. So I would really encourage all young people to take that first step to get into the climate space and really, make that impact. I think with me personally, I started off campaigning on knife crime in London. That's something that was really close to my heart. And it wasn't until I started speaking to more people on a national and hearing people's own personal stories and testimonies did I realize that climate change was something that I really wanted to, represent young people on and really wanted to go forward. I think once you catch the bug, in a sense, you can't really get rid of it, essentially.
I agree. I agree. I'm never escaping advocating for climate justice. In this is my life now. All right, thank you. Should we open the floor to any questions from the audience? Oh, thank you.
Thank you. I would like to ask you about the meaningful participation for different groups, like intersectionality. How do you see it from your perspective?
Thank you. That's an amazing question. I think it's so important. I remember just the other day, I was actually at a panel that was hosted by Hillary Clinton, which was focused on women and the intersection with climate. We see even with ethnic minorities, people from different countries, there's so much intersections. The earth, it gives us food, it gives us water, but it has so much cultural meaning to a lot of people. Even when you see islands such as Tuvalu, and they have the AI project where they're trying to preserve the culture, whilst that is beautiful, it cannot replace actually being able to have the land, to touch it, to feel it, to smell it. I think it's really important to appreciate the intersectionality and appreciate the cultural relevance that our earth has to us, and not just see it as something where we take, we take the money, we take the resources. We really need to continue giving back as well. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, I have another question since we still have some time. In your opinion, just to tie back to our theme, how can schools do a better job of teaching students about climate change and preparing them for a role in addressing climate challenges?
Thank you. I think that's a great question. I think what we need is schools to start early. At the end of the day, there's no age that's too young to learn about the climate crisis. We need it to be integrated and woven into curriculums, essentially, for young people to learn from a young age what the issues are with climate change. I know we all had lessons about greenhouse gases, but we need more than that. We need to know about international negotiations, the Paris Agreement. We need to know what progress is being made. And I think linking it to jobs and the job market, it's often a scary thing for a young person coming out of school, coming out of university or an apprenticeship, and just thinking, what am I to do next? In the past, there's been, traditional jobs that people can go into. However, now we see that a lot of these jobs are being threatened or even being changed for the better because of climate change, because of technology. So I really think that we need a curriculum that can prepare us for the new jobs that are coming, the new revolution. We shouldn't see this as a bad thing. We shouldn't see it as a scary thing. We should see it as an opportunity to grow, an opportunity to improve our livelihoods and our well-being.
Definitely. We're only scratching the surface when it comes to educating our youth about climate. Beyond reuse, reduce, and recycle, we need to do more. Even other ways which we can, connect, or I guess other solutions to the climate crisis, such as agriculture. And I want to tie in that point about jobs. In the Caribbean, there's a negative perception of agriculture. Like, my brother doesn't want to do agriculture in school, but I'm like, yeah, you need to plant your crops, because at the way we're going, that may be a very sustainable way to live. Like, that may be your best bet. So definitely, education is a powerful tool at every stage, at primary education, secondary, tertiary. Even if you're, old and gray, that is still, having an attitude of lifelong learning can be transformational for everyone. All right. And I see time is up. This has been an amazing conversation.
Thank you so much, Maya.
Thank you.
It's been amazing being here with you.
Thank you, Rachel.